You see someone else getting that promotion, climbing the ladder, and you just can't help but think, wait a second, I work harder, my ideas are better, what is going on here? It's a really frustrating mystery, but you'll see the clues are usually hiding in plain sight. And here it is. This is the uncomfortable truth that cracks the whole case wide open. In the professional world, perception isn't just a piece of the puzzle. A lot of the time, it is the puzzle. And that perception, it's being shaped by little habits you probably don't even realize you have. So let's open up our first case file, the habits that mess with the very words coming out of your mouth. We're going to look at what they are, why we do them, and most importantly, how you can fix them, like right now.
Okay, so our first suspect, we'll call it the apology prefix. You know this one. It's when you put this little verbal helmet on your ideas before they even get a chance to breathe. Sorry to butt in, and this might be a dumb question, but see? By apologizing, you're basically telling everyone in the room to lower their expectations before you've even said anything of substance.
And of course, it's got an evil twin, the conviction killer. This sneaky little habit attacks from the rear. You make a brilliant, powerful, well-reasoned point, and then right at the end, you just kneecap it with, but that's just me, or a hesitant, I think? It's like you don't even believe your own words. So why on earth do we do this stuff? Well, what's fascinating is that it's usually not because we're actually insecure. It's because at some point in our lives, these were survival tools. They were defense mechanisms that made us seem humble or non-threatening, and they worked. But here's the catch. The game has changed, and the tools that once kept you safe are now the very things holding you back. The good news is the fix for this is surprisingly simple. And it's not about adding something new, it's about taking something away. You just remove the fluff. Get rid of the self-doubt. Look at the difference in power here. I think feels like a guess. I believe. Now that's a conviction. You're letting your idea stand on its own 2 feet. Now, it's not just what you say, right? It's how you say it. Vocal fry. You know, that kind of low, creaky sound your voice can make at the end of a sentence? It might seem totally harmless, but in a professional setting, it can send out all these negative signals, like you're tired, you're not fully present, or you just lack passion. It's another one of those quiet credibility killers. All right, let's move on to our next saboteur. And this one, well, this one isn't about speaking poorly at all. It's about the deafening silence of not speaking up. And check out this quote from a Reddit user. It just hits the nail on the head. It's not always about being totally quiet. Sometimes it's about ineffective communication. If you're constantly just venting about problems instead of talking about solutions, you become visible for all the wrong reasons. You're not signaling leader, you're signaling problem. And this is a trap that so many high performers fall into. You're in a meeting, the gears are turning, you have this brilliant idea, but you just wait. You wait for someone to ask you. You wait for that perfect, quiet moment that never, ever comes. The issue isn't that you lack ideas, it's that you lack a strategy to get them heard. So how do you break in? Here's a super simple but really powerful 3-step playbook. First, acknowledge what was just said. It shows you're actually listening. Second, signal that you have something to add. And third, bridge their point to yours. For example, I really like that point about market trends, and to build on that. See, it's respectful, it's smooth, and it gets your voice in the room. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Because for those of you who've already established yourselves, who've mastered your role, there's a whole different, much sneakier trap waiting for you at that mid-career crossroads. Here's the thing, the skills that made you a rock star in your current role are not the same skills that are going to make you a leader. At mid-career, the game completely changes. If you just keep doubling down on your technical expertise when the next level is all about influence, that's a classic blind spot. Look, it all boils down to this really critical mental shift. You have to go from being the person who is amazing at doing the work to being the person who can influence others, manage expectations, and really understand the bigger business picture. It's about evolving from just a contributor to someone who shapes the culture. And that brings us to our final saboteur. And honestly, this might be the most common and the most devastating one for high performers. It really is the silent killer of career momentum. It's this idea, this myth, really, that good work speaks for itself. It's this belief that if you just put your head down and crush it, the rewards and recognition will just magically appear. And that is a deeply, deeply flawed way of thinking. But let's get real for a second. Your manager is busy. We're all busy. Everyone is fighting their own fires. They see the final report you handed in, which is great, but they don't see the 5 all-nighters, the 3 roadblocks you had to navigate, or the brilliant decision you made to get it done. The work is there, but if you don't tell its story, its value is invisible.
And I want to be super clear here. This is not about bragging. It's not about being that person who's constantly tooting their own horn. It's about becoming a better communicator. It's about learning to speak for your work by giving context and making sure the impact is fully understood.
So, why does any of this matter so much? Because all of these things we're talking about, these soft skills, they're not just fluff, they're not just cosmetic. Think of them like this. They are signals to the higher-ups that you are a safe bet, that they can trust you with a bigger team, a bigger budget, more responsibility.
And when those signals are weak, the costs are very, very real, even if we don't see them on a spreadsheet every day. They show up in your paycheck. They show up in how vulnerable you are when the company restructures. And they show up in the size and importance of the projects you're trusted with. Over a career, these little perception gaps can create a massive seniority gap.
So I'll leave you with this. Cackling these invisible habits, it isn't about faking it or inventing some new personality. It's about making a few small, deliberate tweaks in how you communicate. It's about making sure that the incredible value you create is not just seen, but fully and completely heard. Because your work speaks for itself, sure, but the real question is, who is speaking for your work?